You ever had one of those days where you wake up and something's off, but you don't know like what's off? That's sort of me today. I don't something like feels a little bit off, and I know what it is now, but I don't know how I get here, why it happens, how it happens, but I sort of know how to get away from it or change it or
Gassing up, I clicked the gas cap in.
more recently. I think I put too much pressure and expectation on this, and that I have to be the best at it. I have to be great, even though I am still less than a beginner. So many internal problems, or not, I shouldn't say so many, but I have this major internal problem that I feel like I face probably for most of my life at this point. I don't know where it really comes from. I'm tired of it just kind of controlling my life. I want agency over this part of my life, and I don't feel like I have it. I don't feel like I have it. It's so weird the way that we have these feelings and that they sort of like come and go, because some days I'll feel like I can do anything, that I'm just the right person for whatever it is that I want to do, and I feel like I can do these things so great. Maybe I'm doing things for the wrong reasons sometimes. I didn't realize how much of my life I lived doing things for the validation of others, and that has affected my self-esteem immensely, because I've constantly changed and fixed and things that I sort of wanted to do, but also I knew that they would be for outside factors as well. This internal dialogue that I have with myself very often, that is more judgmental. That's what I do internally with myself all the time. Something will happen, and then I'll immediately judge it, and then I'll say like, yeah, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I don't know how to do this. I was trying to find an angle for my earlier shot. The first thought that I had was, I'm bad at this. So then that deters me from doing it. When I want to do this, I want to try to make this video. Earlier though, right before I started getting to work on this video, I went to grab some food, and sure enough, that internal voice was there, that voice that start to second guess and question about everything. But the thing is, like, I felt so negatively going into it, and it's weird how I just barely realized these two things like come together in a way that, I felt a certain way about myself going into the restaurant to grab my food, and I felt the same way before I even went there. My ability to make this video, or what I was gonna do, or what the idea was, or how I'm gonna create it, what kind of story am I gonna tell, how good or how bad, and who's gonna see, and what kind of angles, and blah 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 blah, just like endless. It's just fucking endless, really. So it makes me think I may have suffered from like this social anxiety, but maybe it almost wasn't. Maybe it was like something else internally. What is a self?
It's what you make.
What like drives them to do something, like their passion, I guess.
Who are you?
Someone that's just figuring it out.
Okay.
To put it bluntly, still in my 20s.
That's right. That's fact. And who am I?
Say honest, trustworthy, same as me. Say more introspective, thoughtful, also friend.
Pretty grown, like close friend, I ain't gonna lie. This friendship's going pretty fast, but like it's growing pretty fast, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Thanks. Yeah, that's real. And who are you? Hold up.
Oh,
Okay, so who are you?
I don't know how everyone answers those questions. I would say like you go off like traits. I would say like determined, trustworthy, passionate, stuff like that is what I would say for those kind of questions. A friend, peaceful, artistic. I think those would be the ones I'd say.
All right, cool. I appreciate. Now I'm a bit more like comfortable with seeing my insecurities and recognizing them. But like as a kid, I would put up these like sort of defensive mechanisms. One of them is highly frowned upon, I think, in today's culture, to be narcissistic, to have those sort of traits. And I feel like a lot of people are just very judgmental about that sort of thing. And while I think narcissistic people have some very like ugly traits, I also think it's important to recognize where it comes from, because in a lot of ways I was sort of like that. I can't confirm or deny if I was completely or not, because I'm not a psychiatrist. Like, I felt so poorly about myself all the time. I'm gonna pretend that I'm like higher than I am, that I'm better than I am. And then I started to get older and I realized like I'm actually not, and I couldn't just keep lying to myself. I wanted to stop lying. I thought like the life that I was living brought me to such a dark place that the only way out would have been the truth. And then I realized like, okay, well now I can't keep lying to myself about who I am or who I think that I am. And so then it kind of hit me like, okay, I am sort of narcissistic in these ways, right? Like I don't know if I don't really, like I can't confirm or deny that really. My observations as well as that of others, and then even my relationships and the people that I had around me, it kind of seemed like that. And I was like, okay, I don't like a lot of these different things about myself. Let me try to work on these things, fix them, change them, whatever I needed to do. And then there was parts of myself that maybe I didn't need to change or fix because they were just who I was, and that was okay. I needed to learn to accept these things. But what I was saying is like these were just defensive mechanisms that I had built up about myself because I felt very lowly about myself, honestly. And sometimes I still do. Oh my god, I thought you wasn't gonna answer, bro. I got the helmet on.
I got the level 2 on, brother.
I got the level 3 pub helmet. Alright, the first question I got is, what is a self?
A spirit.
And who are you?
A spirit.
Who am I?
A spirit.
Okay.
It's a self? A self?
Yeah,
SELF?
Yeah.
You? You? Who you are? I guess. I
And-
can't get no context with these and none of that.
No, yeah, it's just as simple as it.
Who am I? Try to be simple, be nice, be respectful. I don't know. Try to be who makes you happy, I guess.
Who am I?
You the homie, what you mean? You're pretty much me. We're the same person, bro.
You think so?
I think we're just good people. You got me thinking.
What is a self? SELF.
I don't know. Like me? A person?
Yeah.
Like a person, I guess.
Okay. Who are you?
Come on. Come on. What does that mean? Who am I? A genuine person, I guess.
And who am I?
A mindful person.
That's it. I think now, actually, through talking about this, I sort of realize where this comes from. It comes from my childhood, quite honestly. Now I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay, cool. Some of the ways that I've learned to combat the way that I feel, and it's very hard to fucking do. It's like you have to just learn to live the life that you want to live. You have to choose the life that you want to live. Because if I just went based on the way that I feel, I'd probably never do any of this shit. I wouldn't make this fucking video because I don't ever feel good enough to make a video. Who would I be without the things that I do? I would still be me, right? Nothing's really changed. I mean, like, sort of, right? Like, the things that you do, they help you, and you can change. But like, just because you do something once doesn't mean you're a changed person. Doesn't mean you're a bad person or a good person. I think you are the sum of who you could be, who you used to be, and who you are. I feel like all of them, right? Like, you span across time. When you talk about yourself, well, which self are you talking about? Because you have multiple selves. Your self changes every single day. I was taking a cold shower the other day, and like that has a lot of benefits. Like, it's a really great thing, right? But when I'm working out, I'm like, well, who would I be without this? Without working out? Who would I be without this cold shower? And I was like, I kind of don't know. I kind of don't know who I would be. Even though I felt like I found and created a lot of my new self and who I am today, I'm like, well, who would I be without these sort of things? Some of the things that I feel and think about who I am One thing would be that I'm courageous. I think in most things I feel courageous because there's a lot of things in life that are so fucking difficult. And I feel like I always try, like I always will try to be better, to do the thing that I know would be good for me, despite the fear. And I think that's courage. I think when you can do that, I think that's what courage is. I also feel like another part of me is like chill, and a better word for chill would be maybe like stoic. I feel a lot of things. I think I'm a sensitive person, and in ways that like I feel a lot. Sometimes I don't know what I feel or how I feel, how to explain it, but I just know that I feel it. Very observant, but a lot of times I don't outwardly show that sort of stuff. Some of the solutions that I figured out along the way is that like choosing the life that you want to live, doing the things that are hard, doing the things that are easy, and you're gonna feel a lot of different ways all the time, and the thing is they're gonna continuously keep changing. And use the feelings that you have. Sometimes they're negative, sometimes they're positive. You have to just use them, or don't use them, discard them. You don't need them. You're gonna think a lot of things too. I have thoughts that run through my fucking head all day. You have to learn to live with them and without them. You're not just one like part of your being. You're not just your thoughts. You're not just your feelings. You're not just the things that you do or that you don't do. You're not just the past self. You're not just the future self. You're not just your current self. You're not just your relationships. You're not just yourself. Like you're so many different things. I think. I don't know. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is a self?
Like you as a person, if you're like selfless, selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
And who are you?
Who am I? Some people, friend. Some people, brother. Maybe some people an idol. People an enemy. Just really how you see me as a person.
And who am I?
My brother, kind of an idol. Just a good person overall. Kind of a selfless person.
What is a self?
A self. S-E-L-F.
A human
Okay.
person?
And who are you?
Amy? A mom? A daughter? Sister?
And who am I?
My son? A brother? An uncle? Grandson?
Alright, the first question is,
A self? To me, a self is like a soul.
and who are you?
A living organism, man. I don't really know how to answer that.
And who am I?
You're a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yo. What the fuck?